Okay, a few people. This map kind of gives you the context of where we are. This is the 8,000 acres of Stanford land. You can see most of it is open space, but you can probably see some features you recognize. Anybody know what that long line on the left might be? Okay, that's the Stanford Linear Accelerator. So that's a pretty distinct feature. You can see a lot of buildings toward the top, red roofs. You can see a football stadium. So that would give you a clue that's Stanford campus. Then we have some faculty housing. And then we're over here in the green zone with the research park. We're about 700 acres. And that strange little notch out of the research park is the Palo Alto Veterans Administration Hospital. So that was an agreement between Stanford and the federal government to set up a hospital to serve military veterans there. This research park has been around since 1951. It was founded by a former Stanford provost and engineering dean, Frederick Terman. And he had two motivations here. One, he was tired of seeing his brilliant grad students go back east, which is where all the interesting research-oriented jobs were at the time. And believe it or not, Stanford needed some money back in the 50s. The endowment was actually less than when it was when the university was founded. The university, there was a program after the war where individuals who fought in World War II could get a very low-cost college education as they were coming out. So Stanford had an influx of students, but to be honest, not much revenue coming in with them. So Stanford said, okay, we got to get creative. We've got all this land. What can we do with it? They worked with the city of Palo Alto to set up a preeminent research and development park. The first tenants in the research park were all affiliated. They were those brilliant grad students. Varian Brothers came in. They were our first tenant in 1953, followed by HP and Lockheed. All three of those companies are still here, which to me, it's just kind of hard to get my head around what it takes to be a technology company and be relevant for 70 years. I wish you all that success. So please keep up that trend. The 60s, we saw, as I mentioned, companies like HP come in and sort of the high tech of the time. Then we had a wave of life science companies come in. A lot of those have since moved up to South San Francisco when they needed larger space. Then we had another high-tech period in the 90s and 2000s, started to shift into mobility. Our largest tenant right now is Tesla. So they came in 2008. That year, they made 200 cars. So we kind of took a chance on them, and it paid off. And then more recently, we're seeing a lot of emphasis on life science companies and startups in general. Today, we've got a little over 10 million square feet of office space, 150 companies. We always curate our tenancy, so it's at least 75% R&D companies. And then the remaining 25% can be the support services, the legal and the venture capitalists and the staffing. We've well over 1,000 companies have launched out of the research park. Facebook had their original office here in the research park. Is anybody here aware of StartX? Okay, some hands go up. So that is a Stanford affiliated accelerator that is based in the research park, and a lot of the innovative companies that we see come out of there. All right, today I just wanted to say a little bit about this building. It's been open a little over 2 years. It was designed exactly for things like this, to bring together bright people to share information and ideas. So we are super happy to have you. And I think I will just leave it at that and wish you all a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie, for the introduction. We absolutely love the event space here, and this event space is definitely going to help AI agents to drive this innovation forward. So without further ado, let me introduce today's event's agenda, and we can get started. So today we're going to have a speaker panel about the future of AI agents. We have a lot of amazing speakers here. Then after that, we're going to see some our Super AI Agent Hackathon presentations, the finalist. Then after that, while the judges are collecting their scores, Nexa AI, we're going to announce some our product updates to everyone. And then after that, we'll have the award ceremony and the networking session. Okay, so without further ado, let me introduce the panel, the speaker panel. We have amazing leaders from the industry to join this Future of AI Agents speaker panel with us. And so I'll invite Zach, our co-founder and CTO, to be the panel host, and also the speakers, please get on stage.
Hey everyone, this is Zach. I'm the co-founder and CTO of Nexa AI. Today, we Nexa is thrilled to invite 5 industry leaders to be here. And to begin with, let's give everyone a quick introduction. So Tim, would you please introduce yourself and your company and plug and play?
Sure. It's really my pleasure, to join the Nexa AI event at the Stanford Research Park. So I'm Tim from Plug and Play. Plug and Play is a global innovation platform that's bring together, startups, venture capitals, university, and larger corporations. Plug and Play is a typical venture capital based in the Silicon Valley. For each year, we will invite about 200 early stage startups. We focus on the C stage. So currently, I have more than 2,000 portfolios all over the world. So besides that, Plug and Play is also enabler for the large corporations. Till now, we have more than 600 large corporations as our partner and generating like $100 million. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. And we are so thrilled to be invested by Plug and Play too. And next, we are going to introduce our co-host, the CTO of Grok, Dinesh.
Good afternoon, folks. Dinesh Maheshwari, Chief Technology Advisor and ex-CTO of Grok. Grok, G-R-O-Q, not G-R-O-K. So you guys know the difference. Grok, we have the lowest latency inference solution on the planet, and we do that using a completely new paradigm of compute, which is not von Neumann. It is not data flow, not systolic arrays. It's think of it as a cross between von Neumann and data flow, but mathematically it's a completely different compute paradigm. So using that enables the next wave of computation that we see in machine learning, but also linear algebra acceleration. Our solutions start from at the chip level with the new architecture that we talked about that requires a new compiler architecture, requires a new system software architecture, and then we have the Grok cloud layer on top of that, and which is what most of the developers access. Hopefully all of you have had experience with Grok Cloud, and you can expect more. I think you've experienced the what people refer to as a blazing speed that is also cost effective, both CapEx and OpEx effective.
Yes, thanks, Dinesh. Actually, I'm a big fan of Grok. When the biggest Llama checkpoint, the Llama 3 4.5 billion model comes, I remember Grok can achieve like hundreds of tokens per second inference speed. That's really amazing. Yes. So next, we are thrilled to introduce Aaron. So as a previous Amazon employee, I always have a very strong feeling, especially very proud of AWS. And we are thrilled to also support and back up by AWS Cloud. So Aaron, please give us an intro.
Hey folks, my name is Aaron Melgar. I'm on the business development team for AI startups at AWS. I also lead our generative AI accelerator program, which just kicked off over the summer, incubating 80 companies from around the world, accelerating go-to-market motions. It's kind of our flagship program, but we also do a lot of bespoke events, things like this, just like building community, bringing founders together, bringing investors together. So super excited to be here. This is a really inspiring space to be born and raised in the Bay Area, so Stanford's always been kind of like the pinnacle of innovation, and excited to be here and share our perspective. And thank you for the invitation, the Nexa team.
Yes, sure. Thanks, Aaron. And next, my colleague Alex, please give us an intro.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Alex, and previously I'm a Stanford PhD doing like AI math research. And now I'm collaborating with my co-founder, Zach, and we are doing, especially for on-device AI. And that means like we are doing especially small language model that can be deployed locally on mobile phone or laptop. And in addition to the, small language model development, we also create like kind of inference framework that can enable developers to use these small language model locally on mobile phone or laptop. So a little more about Nexa AI. We intend to build an open source platform for on-device developers from different domains like mobile phone, computers, and robotics, etc. And we are really excited to have this event today to discuss more about the on-device AI and also the agent. And as you can see, we have some representative work like Octopus series model. These models are especially designed for agents that can be deployed locally. And we really look forward to the event today.
Sure, thanks, Alex. And next, I believe everyone wants AI to be personalized and customized to your need. And MEM0 is the solution. And we Nexa AI, we are going to integrate Nexa SDK with MEM0 too. And now I'm so thrilled to have Taranjeet here.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me here. I am Taranjeet, co-founder and CEO of MEM0. MEM0 is building long-term memory for AI agents and AI apps. MEM0 enables an agent to improve just by learning from his past interaction. We are open source with more than 20,000 GitHub stars, and we recently trended worldwide #1 on GitHub for more than a week. We are backed by Y Combinator, and it's a dead simple interface to add memory to even Grok or any LLM out there. Thank you.
Yes, thanks everyone for the huge and very concise introduction. And now let's go to the discussion. So as everyone knows, AI agent is one of the hottest topics this year, and it's a main domain for AI development. And the first topic is going to be, how do you think about the recent advancement in AI agents? And what's the next biggest opportunity? So to begin with, I will introduce my colleague, Alex. Please share your thoughts on AI agents.
Thanks, Zach. So we've actually done a lot of work about AI agents. And when we look at this topic, I think it's worthwhile to look at it in different aspects. Firstly, like the model, open source or the closed source. In terms of the closed source, models, we've seen that recently, the reasoning capability of latest language models such as GPT-4o or Cloud, they have improved themselves a lot in terms of reasoning. And we've seen like the accuracy of function calling, which is the cornerstone of AI agent, is increasing as well. And we see some, special attention from these big companies like OpenAI. They are improving, they are now can output, more accurate format, which is the JSON format for agent outputting. And another interesting phenomenon we've seen is about the open source, community. For open source models, it is usually smaller than the closed source model, and that means it cannot be a really generalized model. But we've seen some effort from the community, fine-tune the model to make it especially a function calling model. And that's more about like the cloud one. In terms of the the on-device AI part, we've also done some work like our Octopus series model and our upcoming more papers and research work in the coming week. We've done like basically for example, introduce the concept of functional token to use one token to represent one action. and using that way to improve the accuracy and latency. In addition, we also propose many context compression techniques to improve the latency for the AI agent.
Yes, thanks, Alex. We also know that there are a lot of developers, they want to fine-tune Llama model, and they want to serve their AI agent efficiently on cloud. So Dinesh, would you like to share your thinking on the AI agent in current domain?
Let me start with my experience yesterday. That was at the open source agent hackathon with Andrew Ng. There were several startups and groups that presented, and the common comment that most of them made was, we would like the latency to be better. And many of them did use a Grok flow, and their latency was pretty good. Otherwise, the latency is the aspect where we find that for agents to be used effectively, it needs to be at the human interaction level. That is what Grok is enabling by hosting the various models at ultra-low latency performance. As the agentic tasks and the workflows become more complex, the better word would be you have more invocations to LLMs and other ML models. Latency for each of the individual models becomes even more crucial to have that human interaction with the agents and agentic applications and workflows.
Thanks, Dinesh. So actually, we have seen AI agents in a lot of different domains, and a lot of startups, they build their own company based on specific fine-tuned model or specifically perspective of AI agent development. So next question, team. So we're going to ask, so from an investor perspective, so you must have seen a lot of startups doing AI agents. So what domain are you most excited about AI agent?
Overall, I would like to say, the AI agent will reshape all industries because, AI agents have the ability to enhance the decision making and take autonomous actions. Even also change, the working approach between the people and the machine or robotics. So from the long run, I would like to say it would be like, from the very simple assistant to action and to, matter agent, this kind of stage. So from the VC perspective, I like to say, some VC would like to say, the state of the venture capital industry here at this time is kind of winter. So I would like to say venture capitals currently are looking for, startups that's not only to, showcase ambitious AI agent technology, but also, can demonstrate very clear revenue paths, especially, have the clear, strategy for the business growth. So I would like to summarize, I would say, from the short term, we need to see the business result, not only, the technology in the field of AI agent. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, team, for sharing your insights. So next, Aaron. So as we know, AWS has AWS Bedrock, and you also have the SageMaker, which empowers a lot of AI scientists to fine-tune their model. So from your perspective, from AWS perspective, how do you think about the AI agent industry and the most excited domains in AI agent?
Yeah, great question. I think there's a lot of really good low-hanging fruit in applications that are like really well defined, that are just really repetitive. I think a lot of people are going after this like very generalist kind of AGI-esque use case where you can ask for anything and materialize something. But use cases like in hospitality, customer service, places where there's repeatable tasks that probably already have internal ops post folks focused on that. They already have like processes well defined. They can quickly string together an agentic system. I think you'll find the fastest uptick in these types of use cases, right? Where where there's predefined processes. And I think, restaurants, order intaking, where privacy matters, like healthcare, nursing, and calling out to different folks and, placing orders for prescriptions. A lot of these like really straightforward, kind of like boring, if you will, use cases will have a lot of adoption. I'm really bullish on the B2B use cases of agents before the consumer expectations, kind of like the hype cycle on the consumer side will kind of subside, I think, basically is what I'm saying.
Yes, thanks, Aaron. So actually, we are also very excited about the B2B platform provided by AWS. We are going to have our Octus model on AWS soon. So next, Taranji, so you gain a lot of real developer feedback because MemZero is such a hot open source project, and you must have got a lot of use cases with personalized AI and AI agent. So would you share some story and your thoughts about the AI agent domain?
Yeah, I think we'll first agree to what Aaron said. That's the same set of use case that we are seeing. Like the biggest customer that we have so far is a customer support company for e-commerce, which was very strange for me also. It's like it would be something cool, but it turned out to be something very common and very important. Another use case that we see people keep playing around is some sort of personal AI companion. People have innovated a lot over there, wherein they're even trying to make individual productive by capturing their screen or phone. So that's some sort of personal AI companion use case we see a lot. The other use case we have started seeing recently is healthcare and financial assistance. Recently, we met a company which is trying to create like a personal AI financial companion, which knows everything about you and is helping you better take financial decisions. So overall, what we feel and we see is like everybody is just trying to make humans more and more productive. And it's the element of you, basically the individual person being there, which memory or like which MemZero is trying to solve it for. And that's where a lot of use cases are coming up.
Sounds great. Yes, so we got a lot of great insights about AI agents. So now let's talk about the open source versus closed source AI. So as you may already know that for our company, the Octus V2 model is open sourced and used to rank second on Hugging Face, and our V3 is closed sourced. So why do we have such a business plan, and what's our strategy there? So Alex, so let's talk about the open and closed source AI and your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so in terms of the open source and the closed source aspect, I think from a company's strategy, like we intend to open source some work first and to engage more developers, to create more. And I think that's a very important starting point, to let more developers know about our company, and then they can get started to build something using our product. And progressively, we will release more and more. Like our Octopus V3 is actually converting our very initial level model from a pure language model into a multimodal model. And after we feel like the developers are pretty familiar with our tech stack, we will open more capability to the developers. I think that is a progressive strategy for the company. And in addition, like we also like prepare some premium model features, and that is for the enterprise customers as well. So it's kind of like half open source the way to do the business.
Got it. So as we also know that Llama, the most advanced Llama 3, the Llama 405 billion model, it can achieve a very similar MMU score, just like the top closed source model, including Cloud 3 and OpenAI's GPT-4o. So Dinesh, so as Grok is famous for hosting those advanced open source model, what's your thoughts on the open source community?
open source models, I find that innovation happening in that space will, as with other open source efforts, has usually done better than the closed environments. It's not a surprise because the open source attracts better usage on the developer side, better feedback cycles, and that feeds back into better iterations. At Grok, we have hosted most of the open source models, and we go by what the users would like. Unfortunately, there's too much traction for Grok. What that means, the resources are, as we are ramping up the resources, we cannot host all the models all the time. Obviously, once we are at scale, we will host all the open source models that are of interest. So you will find all the meta models, except the largest models take a lot of resources. And until the developer base for that improves 4 or 5B, you will see that on Grok from time to time. You probably know that we had hosted that model. But getting back to your original question, open source, do expect the open source models to do generally better than the closed ones.
Sounds great. So in AWS, so we have seen both open source and closed source models. So on AWS Cloud, especially AWS Bedrock, we can use Cloud 3, it's a closed source one. We can use 11 Labs. And also we can use some open source model like Phi 3 or Gemma 2. So you have both open source and closed source on AWS. So Aaron, what's your thinking on the open source versus closed source world?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with Dinesh. I think the like asymptote for open source will eventually catch up, right, to closed source. How long that will take, we'll see. I think there's a lot of interesting product features beyond just the API call that are being built into these closed source systems. Things like artifacts, things like prompt caching, all of these other like niceties, right? A generative AI system goes beyond just the API call. There's all of these other requirements in order to make this thing work. For me, open source versus closed source is really a question of the ICP or target customer you're going after. You know, someone who wants to build quickly, doesn't want to do too much research. They're just going to ship with a Claude model or an OpenAI model and move as quickly as possible. Someone who's going to be more technical, wanting to customize their system, go end to end, and actually, you know, own the ML ops portion about privacy and deployment strategy and hardware layers. You know, that's going to be an open source developer. And you really just kind of think about, you know, there's room for both, right? There's definitely going to be hands to keyboard developers trying to build systems from the ground up, and sort of consumer layer just like wanting to take whatever is quote unquote the best and shipping with it. So I think there's room for both. I am bullish long term on the open source ecosystem now.
Yes, thanks for sharing your insights. So we have been talking about AI agents and open source versus closed source. So as we know, a lot of audiences today are coming here because of on-device AI. And indeed, making the model running efficiently on device is really a hot demand at this moment. So Taranji, so there must be a lot of developers, they want to use MEM0 plus another, for example, open source on-device model and to build their own AI agent. So from your perspective, how do you think about the advantage of on-device AI versus the advantage of cloud AI?
I think on-device AI, what we feel is mainly about privacy. And when people are trying to use MEM0, one of the common concern is you are, I mean, getting through all our data. You know who we are, what we are doing. So that's why we open sourced it. We have a platform on top of it, but our core is open source. So we feel like a lot of on-device use case would be around privacy, maybe like the healthcare thing, maybe like the financial thing also. So yeah, that's something that we feel is best done on-prem, maybe at the operating system level, like on the phone or on the Mac or laptop out there. For the cloud base, I think it's a lot of things useful for a business out there, wherein they want to run something and they need like more compute power over there. So we feel that is much more suited to be run on cloud.
Sure. Thanks, Taranji. So from investor perspective, team, so you have seen a lot of startups. So they have different demands. Some are hardware companies. Some may need the on-device solution for their private cloud. You may also see some other needs that depends on the cloud-based AI. So how do you think about these two domains, on cloud versus the on-device?
Okay, so before that, I'd like to share some thoughts about open source and the closed innovation. I think open source is a typical open innovation, and open source suit for the environment that prioritize transparency, collaboration, and rapid innovation. And for this kind of the closed source is it's good and ideal for the large corporations that require high level of the quality and the stability. So I would like to say AI agent business is a typical ecosystem play. I'm encouraging startup to contribute to the open source and the leverage open source how this can rapid innovation. Okay, back to the your question about the on-device and the cloud-based, right? So I would like to say for startups, you need to try to leverage all kinds of resources, the platform to build your solution and the technologies as soon as possible. How this meet the requirements in the markets to make the best product. So we see the AWS here. I worked for AWS about 10 years ago. So I think I really encouraging you can take all kinds of approach to build your business, whatever on device or the cloud base. I would like to say on cloud is sometimes is kind of the huge data communication is fuel for that the huge data transformation, and the on devices is suitable for the real time the business. So I would like to suggest start you consider this kind of technology based on the requirement, based on your target customer and the situation. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so here comes to our last question. So today, a lot of audiences, they are very interested on device, on AI agent, and a lot of them might want to start their own business or they want to do the research in this domain. So today, our speakers, they are from different perspectives. So the last question is, so how do you think about the future of generative AI, and what's the biggest advice you would like to give to the audience to be successful in this new trend? So I'll start with my colleague Alex. So maybe from a founder perspective, if one of the audience today, he or she wants to build a successful AI company, what's your advice?
Thanks. So I think when I look at this domain, like actually we've done a lot of research, regarding generative AI, and I think there are two aspects. So firstly, when we look at generalized large language model, we've seen that for this domain, it's pretty sure that the players are pretty determinant. I mean, OpenAI, Mistral, Anthropic, and it's hard to see another new giant in this domain. And that's for the generalized large language model, really large language model. But I think another trend or the opportunity will be the I would say like a specialized model. For example, like if you just want to ask a very simple question, like what's the result of 1 + 1? I mean, you can use a really small, like 1 billion parameters model to get the same result as the GPT-4o. So in that case, we envision a future with many specialized model, and I think this is also pretty popular these days, which is called compound AI system. And when we build on-device AI, we also generally follow this training. That is, we customize our model's architecture or the training procedure to make it especially good at certain domain that can compete with the closed source language model. So I think the specialized AI model is a very good opportunity.
Yes, finding a niche, that's really important. So Alex has shared his advice from a model training company perspective. Taranji, so Mem0 is very famous for your AI infrastructure, the backend, and the open source toolkit. So from your perspective, what be your advice to the founders who want to start an open source project like you?
I think I would not think about starting an open source project. I would think about it in two ways. The first way is classic startup advice, wherein figure out a use case and figure out a problem first. Don't think about Gen AI, figure out a problem, and then figure out how that problem can be better solved using Gen AI. Because as the models will get cheaper, faster, they'll run locally, these models are working towards your PMF. So that's the classic first advice that I would have. The second is something that we have, which is core to what Mem0 is, which is how Mem0 thinks is, this LLM is like a new human, generation, right? Like it's basically a new baby which has like less ability to see, maybe like very less ability to hear, but there is like some sort of brain, or there is like some sort of intelligence being there. So now figure out like this generation is getting bigger, and what are the elements that you feel that this generation should have, and look back at us as humans of how we are. Like we can see, we can reason better, we can walk, we can do things on our own. So that's the second way, wherein like it's like looking ahead, like maybe 5-10 years, that this thing is very core, and then backtrack from there, wherein you feel like Grok is making inference very fast, so which is like a human thing. Like you guys are doing on device stuff, which is again very human thing. So that's like a futuristic view to think about it. That's how I think I would advise.
Yes, thanks, Taranji. Yeah, I agree. So making an MVP and find product market fit is really important. So Aaron, so you are in AWS, Amazon is tech giant. So from a tech leader perspective, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd say, I'm probably not the best to comment on the broader Amazon. I focus really exclusively on the startup ecosystem with their accelerator program. So kind of similar to Mem0, I would say, really focus on the use case and double down on that first. I think when you're in the midst of a hype cycle, everyone's trying to build a bigger hammer and look for nails. And as soon as you find your first nail and you try and like take a swing, but in reality, like you have to do a lot more like intellectually honest and rigorous assessment of that market and think about, is this a venture scale market, right? I think there's a lot of like interesting prosumer applications being built that are great. They may pan out to be lifestyle businesses. If you don't have distribution right, if you don't have your exact pain point nailed and it's not a big enough problem space, like really, really focus in on this, right? Because if you're going to commit to spending 5 to 10 years on this thing, don't do it just because there's a big wave right now and VCs are throwing dollars at it, is what I would say. As a former founder myself, I don't think I would just start building something without having talked to a bunch of customers first. And I think that will always ground you during whatever technology trend is going on. Obviously, very bullish on AI as a system as a whole. I think it will solve lots of problems, both technologically, societally, et cetera. But just really focus on the go-to-market, focus on your customers, and treat them as your North Star.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. So Dinesh, so from Grok perspective, what's your thoughts on this?
Let me answer that question, not just from Grok perspective.
Sounds great.
But we also work with a lot of the startups.
Sure.
Being on their board as an advisor often. So during these times, my suggestion to these startups would be, obviously, you need to look at serving a worthwhile problem. I would like it to be something that has a positive impact on the society, a worthwhile problem that's commercially viable and has a positive impact. When it comes to positive impact, for the past century or so, most of the focus has been on productivity improvement. That's only one aspect of value creation. What I like to look for in startups is enabling true value creation that's over and above productivity improvement. It's not just about we can do the tasks that human beings were doing, we can do it by replacing them with machines. That's the quote unquote brute force way of doing it. Everyone will be doing that, and over time, only few of these startups would be left standing, perhaps as corporations. And many of the corporations themselves will be doing it, and they will be a lot more effective in doing that than the startups. True value creation is where you are enabling things that could not have been done before. That, again, hopefully has a good positive impact on the society. Now, when it comes to agentic workflows and applications, if it has to interact, now let's look at the characteristics of when we solve these new value add problems. If you have to interact with human beings, it has to be a human interaction latency and something that you can trust. And the vectors, the dimensional space of trust, that the way I look at it, is something that's repeatable, reliable, explainable, and interpretable. That is a space where Gen AI, the current models, will struggle somewhat in the next few years, and there will be, it needs more improvement. I'm looking forward to these startups addressing this space. They'll be a bit choppy in the beginning, but I think the good ones will pull through that. One last one on the on-device versus cloud models. Looking at all machine learning models and LLMs specifically, when the latent space is large and is largely where the underlying semantics of the various cloud points are largely based on correlation and not logic, as in the human interaction, where the nuances are very fine, that aspect is best served by large models so that you can distinguish between where the cosine distance can be finely distinguished so you can actually pick up the nuances. And for low latency, that'll have to be in the cloud. When the latent space is small and or logically related, as when you're doing certain programming, supporting programming languages, it can be served with smaller models. And I do expect those to be a combination, most of the agentic workflows to be a combination of the two. We can talk more about this later, but it's a large dimensional space. And I find a lot of startups are unfortunately doing a random walk in that space.
Yes, thanks, Dinesh. So actually, we also believe like edge cloud collaboration is a huge future because you can basically move the tasks, as you mentioned, with small latent space or action space on edge, and then just let the cloud AI to handle the most complicated and the most innovative tasks. So team, so I'm going to switch the context a little bit. So today, there are a lot of audiences, they have their entrepreneur's dream, and they want to pitch to Plug and Play and get the first check. So how would you suggest to the audience how to get the first check or impress the investors from an investor perspective?
Thank you. It's a really good question for Plug and Play. So I would actually introduce Plug and Play more detail. So Plug and Play, will have one of the largest corporation partner ecosystem in the world. So these corporate partners are also, your potential to be customers. So we are set up in a very close relationship, not only regarding the business collaboration, also the co-investment. So when we were looking for the startup,
with the advanced technology. Also, the solid business growth pathway. So if you have very clear, strategy go to market, and you have very solid business plan, you have the good potential, especially large corporations. I think it's a good time for you to approach Plug and Play and try to get the environment. Also, you can try to join our accelerator, get to connect with small corporations. Yeah, so Plug and Play is a very unique business model. Currently, we have more than 30 unicorns, including PayPal, Dropbox. Probably the sooner or later, the next unicorn can be like a Nexa AI. Yeah, we are very confident on that. So, yeah, so thanks the 5 amazing speakers. Let's give huge applause to them.
Oh, thank you very much, speakers. We really learned a lot from your insights. And up next, we're going to proceed to our hackathon presentations. Give me one sec too. All right. So for the hackathon, we're going to invite the judges to sit in the front row, and the participants will be coming up to present their project. And the judges will be having a score sheet where you can read the judge guidelines here on the score sheet. And at the end of all the presentations, we're going to gather all the score sheets and do like the total sum of the scores you have given to the participants, and that will determine the winners. So I think Dinesh, Taranjeet, and Zach has already introduced themselves, and we'll have Dr. Feynman and Hendrik to give a quick intro about yourself. Yeah, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Feynman Xu, and currently I'm working at the Meta on the Ray-Ban glasses. And apart from my research work, I also have a best-selling book called Generative AI for Babies. Yeah, so I'm more interested in AI education. Yeah, and try to force the next leader of next innovation. Yeah, next wave of the innovation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hendrik. I work in the investment team at Plug and Play. Most of what I do is source startups, meet startups. So earlier the question was asked, if you're looking for funding, if you have your own startup, please feel free to come and talk to me after the event and we can see what we can do for you. All right?
All right, thank you, Hendrik. You can leave. Cool, awesome. So for now, let's invite the first hackathon team, Grove, to do your presentation.
It's already shared.
Too big.
Hi, thank you for your patience. Hi, I'm Joyce.
Groove is a learning assistant for GitHub projects. When using GitHub projects, one common problem is the lack of customized learning plans. After cloning a GitHub project, facing heavily documentation, hard to read large amounts of code, not knowing where to start, what I need to do, and what I need to learn to become proficient in a GitHub project. And existing tools can customize a learning plan based on the user's level, resulting in slow learning. And that's why we need Groove. Groove provides customized learning path. Users can quickly master GitHub projects, modify the project to make it more suitable for their own use. Easier for users to ask questions, significantly reduce the prompting time. Utilize multiple models with one click. So how does Groove work? We build hierarchical project information from the project folder structure to the use of components and hooks. By setting up different roles, turn project information into contextual information, and import different model APIs into the system. So here is an example use case. This is a project with 8,000 stars. It looks like a computer operating system, a very cool web framework. This is how it looks like hosting on localhost. So I would like to modify it for personalization, such as changing this wallpaper. And this is the learning tool I use to change the default wallpaper responses in the code. So you can see like cursor or cloudy. Due to the limited folder reading, all these tools are difficult to give an optimal solution. So in here, you can see the file name. It might generate the wrong message, provide the folder routes that doesn't exist. And let's try Groove on how to change the wallpaper. So you can see here, it gives the exact location of the file and what constant I have to change. And the best part is it provides the options of the wallpaper. I can also use progress command to see my current status of learning. As you can see, it provides a basic structure of learning path. And what's the best? Users can actually customize all these prompts and the parameters it provides and change different models. So we believe that Groove can provide a better learning experience for all users. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Now the judges can note down your scores. And if judges have any questions, please feel free to ask now.
Can it generate like a roadmap, like on how to learn this repo, like step by step?
Yes, like I could type progress and I could see exactly the format of the roadmap, how to learn, for example, from setup to project introduction, and it gives all like some components and what's the hook and some customization options.
Thank you.
Yeah, so people can actually learning by customize the GitHub repositories.
Why did you decide to focus on learning? Because I use Cursor a lot, for example, and sometimes it doesn't work. And it seems like you have a pretty good solution to solve some of the problems Cursor has, some of these other AI coding assistants have. Why don't you just pour that into a solution instead? Why do you have the learning aspect of this?
I think so far, the reason why we're focusing on like educational purpose is because that we're meant for people to reduce the prompting time while they are learning. So it could like provide a better user learning experience. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can just hold it. Yeah, I'll get it in a second. Cool. Thank you, Gro, for the presentation. And yeah, thank you. And next up, we'll invite Googler to present.
Oh, sure.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Barbara and my team is Mohammed. And today I'm going to talk about our project, the Googlers. I'll play a video of my teammate introducing our project.
Hi, today's large language models face very serious challenges, one of them being hallucinations. Hallucinations have disabled large language models from providing real and accurate queries for the users. And the reason for that is that common crawl snapshots that the large language models were trained on usually are not up to date with the most updated data. And in order to overcome this, we utilize AI agents in order to provide SAT datasets that the user can train his large language models on in order to get domain-specific datasets that are up to date.
So our mission is we empower individuals and businesses to create specialized instruction data sets for fine-tuning purpose. And we call the data set created by our pipeline the Google Web SFT. So now I will talk about our approach. The Google Web SFT is generated through a multi-step process that starts with a user input query and ends with a compiled data set. And there are totally 5 steps involved. The first step is query input. For instance, a user may enter something like, tell me about knowledge related to medicine. Next, our system extracts 50 relevant documents from the FindWhat_Edu vector store database. And the retrieval procedure is enhanced by hypothetical document embeddings. Then we use the large language models with string of thoughts to filter these retrieved documents again to make sure they are truly relevant to the original query. The third step is instruction generation. We will utilize the technique of GenQA's generator prompt. And the generator prompt enhances large language models' response diversity by asking it to list topics based on the provided context and randomly select a listed topic to generate the instructions on. And here is part of our generator prompt. And our next step is response generation. We will utilize AI agents to generate responses to the instructions we generated before using the Google search tool. Finally, a data set of relevant documents, instructions, and responses is compiled. For the impact of our project, we believe that our pipeline has the potential to make a significant breakthrough by creating highly specialized data sets. These data sets ensure that AI can perform at its best in niche domains, bringing unprecedented accuracy to tasks to various fields like medicine and programming. And here is an example of medicine. As you can see, it is of very high quality. And here's an example of programming. This is our future work. This is our references and technical stack. This is our team. And now we are ready to show you the demonstration. So let me pull up the demonstration for you. And this is our backend, and this is our front end. So let's enter a query like tell me about medicine, and we submit a query. As you can see, our backend system received the query and is processing it. And now it is retrieving the context. So just wait for it. And now the contexts are achieved. And then our system is generating questions. And thanks to Grok's API, it is a very fast process. And here are the questions generated. And the final step is using AI agent to generate a response. However, this is relatively slow due to LangChain's own implementation of AI agent. So in the future, we wish to collaborate with Nexa AI to use their agent technology to fasten this process. And during our wait, you guys can check out our open source data set we prepared for this hackathon. And now we have the response generated. We only keep 3 of them to make sure the demo finish in time. So this is our response. And the user can download it as CSV. And feel free to try our demo at home. Scan the QR code. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, the judges feel free to leave your scores, and any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you for making it on time, Barbara.
Okay, so because we are supported by our Grok API and they are going to limit our usage after today, so the demo may stop working due to this decrease in limit.
Can you go back to the slide with an example that you skipped really quickly so we can understand better how it works, please?
Okay. I'm just going to show the slide here. Yeah, and here's a second example.
Have you benchmarked this to anything else to compare the performance?
Yeah, and we haven't compared it to anything else, but we tried multiple queries by ourselves, and it is in our data set. So we tried the queries of finance and programming, education, politics, and other queries. So benchmarking and comparing it to other methods is our part of our future work.
Right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Googlers, for presenting the project. Next up, we'll invite AR AI Task for the presentation.
Okay. All right, I think this will work.
You mentioned her desktop.
How about this? Yep. All right. Hi, everyone. This is Yayuan. I'm a PhD candidate at University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Today, I'm glad to introduce my work, AR AI Task Guidance Agent. All right, about the problem settings. So we're gonna build a AI assistant that is rendered on AR glasses that can teach you how to guide you through tasks, like specifically physical tasks, because previous agents are all work in a virtual world, but now we're focusing on physical tasks. As I show here, imagine you're doing some task, you're wearing our system. The system can see what you see, hear what you hear, interact with you. So it has great perception and it knows about your task. And in the end, it generates task guidance through audio, visual, even overlay in your view. Our end goal is to expand the skill set of the users or even professional workers. The domain generalized to from day-to-day life to industry, like repair engine or even military scenario, we're going to demonstrate that. So at a higher level, this is going to have a huge impact. This is not our argument. This has been demonstrated by history. When we look back, whenever we have the better task guidance method, we will have better, more efficient way of learn the skills. We can do and learn tasks faster. This is how we as a human being making progress in the civilization. So here we're proposing a next generation of a task guidance system, aiming at first with better task guidance method, we can have higher increased productivity for the business, imagine in the industry or military, and even more, always training and hiring professional workers is a pain. So we can reduce the training costs, reduce the entry barrier for some professional tasks. Okay, a quick overview on our method. So this is me wearing our system and trying to perform some task like cook a dish. I always start with clicking the bottom to perfectly control the timing whenever I want the system's help. So when I click the bottom and this HoloLens 2, my AR headset is streaming all data, video, audio efficiently to a laptop, and after some pre-processing, goes to a large vision language models. And this is gonna cover the main reasoning part, along with some prior knowledge if you want to define any. And in the end, it has the generated response and trace back to the HoloLens efficiently. We did a lot of engineering work here. And in the end, it communicates with user with multimodal, visual, audio, and this is a full loop of it. It's easier said than done. Let's show some videos and show some demos. It's unfortunate that I cannot show my HoloLens 2 here because it's burnt out in my stress test, but I can definitely show all my angles in my previous videos. So this is the first one, not natural communication. There's no audio. One sec, please. No audio, bro.
You have to share screen and audio pop up. You have to share sound.
No, not from there. I want to show the audio here.
Hey there, what's up? How are you doing today?
It's me asking questions.
Hey there. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. It looks like you're at your computer. What would you like to do today?
As you can see, I can interact with the system naturally, and the system can respond with the shared perception. This is a naive one that it can already think from your perspective with your perception, and even more can do even more. Let's do some even more challenging one. Let's say we're trying to do a task. We're trying to finish a dish of pinwheels. We're at some random step.
Let's jump to the step of using floss to slice tortilla.
Let's jump to the step with the floss. So you need to slide the floss under the tortilla, perpendicular to the length of the roll. Make sure it's positioned halfway between two toothpicks. Once it's in place, cross the two ends of the floss over the top of the tortilla roll. Hold one end of the floss in each hand, and then pull the floss ends in opposite directions to slice.
All right, as you get a point, when we trying to provide a task guidance, the system can provide audio visual task guidance. And because it's in AR, we can take a closer look and etc. communicate with it. And in the end, we generalize to different domains. We demonstrate that with a professional task applying tourniquet in battlefield medicine, a normal person, this is not me. This is a volunteer, has no prior knowledge about battlefield medicine. It can just finish this task, save a life with our system's guidance.
Let's get started. Place tourniquet over affected extremity.
Of course, he's confusing, but he has some visuals trying to figure it out. Right, good. First step done. All right, here, you just say, okay, you don't need to scroll on the screen, figure out the menu, you just say, okay, you can have the next step instruction.
Right?
And apply strap to body.
This is when visual is such an important, you have to pull the strap under the black, the white tab. That's a correct operation. If we don't have the instruction, the AI system, we can easily misunderstand that, but our volunteer made it. Okay, that's a quick demo here. And of course, in the end, I want to mention there's no perfect work. There's always space to improve. I'm actively working on this, all the research about it, including like detect mistakes, how to scientifically evaluate all the performance, and even generate better instruction, like show the poses, how your hand should move to finish a task, to lower error rate. My PhD is all about this. And that's it. Thank you, everyone.
All right, judges, any questions? Also, feel free to leave down your scores.
Is the model trained for specific tasks, or is it super general? Because how I see it right now, your first step is you're basically making YouTube tutorials hands-free, right? You're explaining the steps. And then you can ask, am I doing this right, or I'm not doing this right? And it can help you. But how good is it at this without training?
I would say right now is, like you said, hands-free. It's a one angle, but it's showing existing videos. This is a challenging problem to show like in context videos. This is something I'm working on, but not integrated. I admit that. We need time, and this is a challenging problem. We're working on it. That's my answer.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the presentation, AI task. Next up, we'll have Pro-spect. Pro-spect. Oh, yeah.
Sorry. All right.
Oh, give me a sec. Sorry. In the interest of time, could we put the questions offline?
We can talk offline.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, Pro-spect, please. I have to go to Zoom. Are you in Zoom?
Oh, is it work? Okay. Hi, everyone. Is there anybody starting a startup right now? You show me your hand. Okay, good. There's a few. So it's great seeing you guys. We're Pro-spect, and we're here to transform the hiring process for startups with our AI agent. Like you guys, for early stage tech startup founders like Rage, who need more professional HR resources
Finding early employees relies heavily on personal networks or linking ads. It is tough for them to source credible full-time talent, and networking with 50+ candidates per week is nerve-wracking. We think the key to find credible talent at scale is establishing trustful relationship between both parties. And trust cannot be built right away. It has to be built through continuous, genuine engagement with patience. But founders mostly don't have time to talk with the candidate constantly. So what we propose is indeed of initiating the hiring process after identifying the exact need to hire. We build the company's tailored talent tool upfront with candidate-centric AI agents that engage, emphasize, and evaluate the candidate at scale. So imagine a candidate who clicked into your company's linking page and spot a virtual company website. He will be browsing through the details of your company, founder's ambition, and mission. So how does the chatbot help this process? On the serving side, the application is deployed on an EC2 instance, ensuring scalability and reliability for users accessing the platform around the clock. The front-end components, such as the evaluation panel, interact directly with the back-end services, providing real-time feedback and analysis. The technology part of this platform involves integrating the back-end, which store user information, chat histories, and company prompts, with the front end, which features a sandbox games and the evaluation panel. This interaction is supported by the robust database and an API for handling chatbots through GPT-4 Mini. Now let's start demo.
Desktop.
Okay, let me see. So as you can see, this is the front end of our platform. In the back is the kind of like an HR of the company. And I'm now want to ask about what this company is doing. So it will introduce the company, what the company is doing, and all about the details of the company. Now I want to ask about the position. So I'm asking the product management position, and it will tell me what they are looking for, the criteria of this position. Now I want to introduce myself to the company. And the HR will say, it's great to hear. And ask him all about the questions about the company. Now I want to analyze this chat. Now I am this man, and I click on the more details. It will generate a report for me about this candidate. Now, as you can see, it will generate a short bio, an elevator pitch, the skills, the scores of the technical skills, soft skills, and communication skills, and all about the details of the things that you want to know about this candidate. So although it's our first draft, we believe that with the advancement of AI agent, companies will be able to outsource most of the incompetent tasks and solely focus on their cores. And by engaging and matching the right talent with the right startup, we hope it will foster a vibrant and resilient startup ecosystem in the future. And thank you very much.
Thank you. And judges, you can note down the scores. If you have any questions, feel free to ask now.
Where is the data based on for the company, like the general company description? Is it like the founders type in some stuff and the job description?
Yeah, so basically the database will from the company's founder, so they will have a place for them to input their company's information and what they want to talk about their company, about this position. And also for the analyzed data, it will come from the chat.
Okay. Have you ever considered making the platform two-sided? Because right now you're very focused on the companies, right?
Yeah.
But there's people looking for jobs and they're applying to hundreds of jobs at once, because at this time it's a numbers game. And we see employers looking through the applications with AI. There's also a lot of potential of giving those tools to employees to be able to apply to more jobs, to make their process easier.
Yes, so right now our target customers are startup founders who lack of resources, HR resources, and lack of employees. But in the future, I think we will consider both of the side, both parties.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Pro-spect, for presenting. Next up, we'll invite DocoToc.
Again, we first get to the PowerPoint and then click all right, there it is. Then we have the demo as well, just making sure we have things set up. All right, this is going to be the place for the demo. This is going to be the PowerPoint presentation, and then we're going to make sure the guy is unmuted for videos.
Yep. You can leave audio in.
No, not me. It's him. It's videos. What's it? Let me just give you this one. This is the guy that needs to be unmuted. He's going to be speaking.
Oh yeah, it was on.
Videos, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you for me.
Pull everything. Okay. This is good. Right, ready.
Good afternoon. Who like to talk to a doctor? I am a doctor of pediatrics. We are the DocoToc team, and we are passionate about transforming healthcare through AI. My name is Simon, and I'm the former Chief Information Officer at the University of California, Riverside Healthcare System. I experienced the firsthand pain and the struggle of healthcare professionals when we are interacting with the digital platform. Like any other doctors, every year I have to click through more than 10 million times to get my job done, going through the graphical user interface. And I suffer from carpal tunnel syndrome on my wrist.
Hi, my name is Omar.
We have Abhijat sitting in the back, but my name is Yafin.
My name is Vidyasagar.
Even as tech geeks, we find ourselves lost at patient portals. We are motivated to solve the usability problem in electronic health records. Our solution is to replace the traditional GUI with a natural language interface powered by AI. Our AI agents analyze the context and understand the user's input. They also provide suggestions to streamline the workflow. DocoToc system architecture is designated with security and compliance at its core. We have set up the AI agent inside the HIPAA security parameter. Our natural language interface sits in between the end users and the EHR systems like Epic.
Here is the architecture where the magic happens. The EHR data of the patient is divided into small chunks, and these chunks are further transformed to vectors, node entities, and edges of their relationship. And these are stored in vector databases and also in graph databases. When the patient talks to a doctor, so we perform a similarity search to get the nearest vectors and also get the nodes and edges with their relationship within the nearest hops. So these chunks are fed to GPT, and DocoToc application responds to the user with respect to the prompt that has been given.
And here is our patient, Jessica Smith, and this is her medical history. And now we will be doing a demo. So I'm going to greet the chatbot, and I'm going to ask it a series of questions. And a couple of the questions that we have here are, in August of 2024, she has been reinfected with COVID-19. And now, here's the response from the chatbot. So in addition, we would like to mention that Jessica would like to send out the email, but she has a new disease that she has not specified in the database. And notice that there are spelling errors, and spelling errors there that do not affect the accuracy of the response. And I will say, yes, I would like to confirm. There you go. There's the email to the doctor regarding COVID-19 symptoms and her history of ulcerative colitis. This is the end of our demo. However, a new beginning awaits for our next phase, which we will integrate Epic EHR for our interface. Doctor talks, DocoToc listens. When words are locked, DocoToc's your doc. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation. Judges, please feel free to note down your scores. If you have any questions, feel free to speak now. Cool. Thank you, DocoToc team, for the presentation. Next up, we'll invite Moxie.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Yoda, and I'm gonna introduce a Moxie, which is a AI-based personal apartment concierge. So to give you some background of our project, I want to searching for suitable apartment to live is very, very time consuming and very costly for us. Because there are several processes in searching for a new apartment, such as choosing a city, and also the filtering through the multiple options, and also contact the apartment owner to negotiate. So I think it takes 1 month to decide the apartment. So the Moxie can make it much easier to provide the consultation and the researching based on the multiple information and suggest apartment list. And finally, Moxie can contact the apartment owner to negotiate. So here's the application architecture of Moxie. And Moxie can operate as an AI agent using the GPT-4o and with function calling, and connecting with the several APIs such as Zero and Google Map API and U.com to search the internet information and send an email to the owner to negotiate about the apartment. So this AI agent can understand the intent of the user and take a required action for the user. So let's move on to the demonstration. All right, so here's the application interface, and the left side characterizes Moxie, and he can assist us in the searching the new apartment, right? And so let's say if we want to search the new apartment in San Francisco, we can ask the question at here, something like, I'm looking for a 2-bedroom apartment in San Francisco with a city view. Then the Moxie ask me additional question such as price, maximum price of the apartment. So I answer the question such as I want to live maximum price of $5,000, and I like to live near elementary schools. So to gather this information, Moxie will search the apartment information from the Zero API and give me some apartment list, which is Moxie want to suggest. So as you can see, Moxie will suggest the apartment list with the suggested reason, something like that. And if we want to see the more detail about these apartment, we can click each card. And so we can see the, location detail out here. And also we can see the apartment image in the below. So these apartment seem to be good. But let's say if we are conscious about the safety of this neighborhood of the apartment, we can ask the question about the safety of this area, such as something like, could you check the crime news around here, because I'm conscious about the safety of this area. So then Moxie will research the news information and give me some crime news around this area, something like that. And additionally, Moxie will summarize news information and give me information whether this area is safety or not, right? And finally, I decided that this area is safety, and I'm interested in this specific apartment. So I want to connect with the owner, but it is so time consuming. So I can ask Moxie to send an email to the owner, something like that. So the Moxie will send an email to the owner using the Zero information. So let's take a look about the email information. So Moxie will send an email, something like that. So which includes customer's information, such as a customer name and customer email address and customer phone number. So if we owner see this email, the owner can connect to the customer about the apartment and explain the more detail about the apartment. So that's it about the our demonstration. So Moxie can make it much more our making decision about the apartment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Moxie, for the presentation. Yeah, judges, any questions? And feel free to take on your score.
So you scrape the internet for like all this text data to be able to answer these questions. But do you also feed like the images of the apartments through like a vision model? So you can ask, for example, I want apartments with like a marble countertop or something like that.
Yeah, that is a good idea. So yeah, at the moment, this image I retrieved this image from the Zero API and I render at here. But in the future, yeah, I want to create an image and make it more imagine. But I want to do it in the future.
Okay, that's a very cool idea.
Thank you.
We actually have a portfolio started that does something very similar to this. It's called Realm. Okay. Maybe you can look into it.
Yeah.
As well.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Moxie, for the presentation. Now let's welcome the last presentation, SafeGuardian.
Come with a heavy load. Oops. Okay, sorry. Every year, more than 200 million people are affected by natural disasters. And too often, the rescue teams are overwhelmed. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's okay. I went too fast into the. Yeah, here you go. Natural disaster affects more than 200 million people every year. But too often, we see that the rescue teams are overwhelmed, that the telecommunication systems are disrupted, and that the call centers are saturated. So we've seen that the combination of these events can result in disastrous consequences, such as in the Turkey earthquake of 2023, where we had delayed responses, poor coordination, and resulting in increased human losses. So we have to rethink how we collect the data from the victims and how we provide them with support, even if we are with broken telecommunication systems and without relying on centralized systems like call centers. So this is why we created SafeGuardianAI. It's an AI assistant that will work locally, offline, and directly after an earthquake occurrence. So when your phone is detected within the vicinity of an earthquake, AI chatbot will be triggered on your phone, and it will provide you through vocal command with psychological and emotional assistance, but also it will make a dynamic assessment of your vital status as you discuss with the AI, and it will give you basic guidance for survival. In the meantime, it will collect data in a standardized fashion and transfer it in real time to the rescue teams so that they can provide tailored and informed decision and interventions. So let's jump into a live demo and see how it works. Imagine you're stuck within the debris. Oh, just a second, I'm still in full screen here. Okay. Imagine you're stuck below the debris after an earthquake and you can't hear much, you're disoriented, you can't see very much, and you only hear a voice in the distance.
Providing support as well as informing rescue teams of your vital status. You speak?
Yes. My name is Sinan. I just survived an earthquake and oh, sorry. Okay. My name is Sinan. I think I survived an earthquake, but my head is hurting. I have problem breathing, and oh, sorry. Let me refresh this. So my name is Sinan, and I just had an earthquake incident, I believe. I'm very disoriented. I can't move. I'm thirsty. Can you give me some advices, some guidance? What should I do right now? Now, as we speak, the data will be parsed in real time, and it will also provide you advices into the next steps to follow. So assess your surroundings, stay put, conserve your energy, stay hydrated, signal for help. I think I'm close to Stanford Research Park. Can you send some help my way? Now on the other side, on Firebase database, this data will be updated in real time as we interact with the AI model. Now on the rescue side, all this data will be fetched into an interactive dashboard, which will allow the rescue teams to make efficient interventions based on the emergency status of the user as it interacts with the model. So you will be able to filter out for emergency status to prioritize the most important cases and have an overview of the situation. And all the data will be presented on the map where you have a color code, which allows the rescue teams to make quick and efficient interventions. And we also work on a way to compute the optimal path. And we will add some constraints such as the number of capacity per fleet and also the weight of the emergency of each of the victims. So regarding the type of data that we collect, we plan to make further advancements such as on-device LLM with function calling so that we can enable functions such as activating battery saving mode or turning your phone into a hotspot so that the surrounding phones can connect to it and provide optimal assistance. Thanks.
Thank you, SafeGuardian, for the presentation. Judges, you may note down the scores. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask now.
So the model runs entirely on the device? Or supposed to run on the device?
Supposed to run on the device. Now we use Gemini Flash 1.5 for the demo because it was faster and more natural interaction.
Okay. End product, how big do you think the file size will be? For example, because hopefully you would never need to use this product ever, but it would always need to live on your phone, right?
Yes, yes. Maybe we are talking about 5 gigabytes model. So it will take some space on the phones. But if it's, let's say, part of the OS and it's embedded into the phone itself, like they're doing with the Pixels nowadays, I think it can be interesting.
Would you be able to use these features or the features that you're providing within another model, so you can have the more general model provide this as well? So it's like an extra feature instead of like solely having this model for this situation.
So can you repeat the question? Sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay, can you incorporate like the features that you have here in like an existing model already on the device? Suppose I have an LLM running for general tasks on device.
Yep.
Okay, that's possible.
This model is not particularly trained. It's not we don't have our own models. It's just function calling. But once you can access the sensor of the phones that you're operating onto, you can probably add it into the sets of function that you can call, and it can increase. There's modularity in the model, so you can increase really the range of it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you, SafeGuardian. Okay, so while we are finalizing the scores, Rita and John will be collecting the judge scores. We'll be presenting some of the exciting updates from Nexa AI, and we'll also be providing some refreshments and dinner at 4 p.m. Just give me a sec. HDMI. Here. HDMI. Oh, SafeGuardian. Could you please unshare your screen? Oh, thank you. All right. So while we are finalizing the scores, we want to introduce some Nexa AI updates. First of all, we have a new branding. You can visit our new website at nexaai.com, 2As. And you can see this is our new logo with a very little cute octopus. And if you're interested in the brand story, feel free to talk to the Rita and her design team afterwards. They're super great at creating these. And by the way, if you go to our website and sign up for an account, you'll get one of the cute avatars on the right randomly. So let me know which one you get. So besides that, today we're proud to launch our new product, On-Device Model Hub. So Nexa AI, our mission is to collaborate with the global developers and researchers to advance on-device AI. So for developers, they need a platform to find and build with on-device AI models. And for researchers, they need a platform to share their on-device AI models specifically. So for our on-device model hub, here are some of their key features. First, it is a comprehensive on-device AI model library. It has all the quantized models for on-device use. It also includes different model types too, like multimodal, text, images, and audio Gen AI models. And second, our platform has filters or search improvements for on-device models specifically. Like these parameters like the RAM, file size, parameters, and much more. These filters are super useful in finding an AI model for on-device use cases. And please feel free to give us any feature requests on how we can better help you find on-device models. We'll be delivering that as fast as possible. And most importantly, once you find a model right for your device and use case, our platform also supports you to run the model with a single line of code locally on your device. And lastly, we want to build an on-device AI community to advance on-device AI together. So let me give you a very quick demo of our platform. So if you go to nexaai.com, oops. Right, this is our landing page. If you click here, you'll go to the model hub. And over here, so on our platform, you have different types of on-device models, all the quantized versions of them here are the filters. We'll be constantly adding both the filters and the models to our platform. And let's say for demo purposes, I want to find a Gemma 2 model, right, text model for my use case and device. How do I do that? So let's say I'm interested in Gemma 2. Let's see. Okay, so in this case, I want to find a model that's like around less than 4 gigabytes in file size and requires less than 4 gigabytes of RAM, but still it is, let's say it satisfies my requirement. How do I do that? So over here, I just, in the file size, I say, okay, I want this model to be less than 4 gigabytes of file size. I put it there, and I want this model to take less than 4 gigabytes of RAM to run. I just put it there and click go. Oh, luckily, most of them will work in this scenario. But let me try a different one. How about Gemma 2? Let's see. Okay. So let's see. In this case, give me a sec. Gemma 2 to be. Okay. Let's try a different one. Let me pick a random model that has a pretty large file. Okay. So over here, we have this Llama 2 7B function calling. Let's say you can see over here, there's a different variety of file sizes and RAM requirements for the model. And let's say I want to find one that just works, that just needs 4 gigabytes of storage space on my laptop, and also it only takes 4 gigabytes of RAM. How do I do that? I just do the same thing here. Let's click go. Boom, it filters out exactly the models I need for my use cases. And let's say I just pick a random one. I want to just use this Q3KS quantized version of model, and I want to run it directly on my device. How do I do that? Then I click run model locally. Then first we install the Nexa SDK using this simple pip install. Then we can use this one line of code to run our model on the device directly. And how do we do that? What's Nexa SDK? So now let me introduce Zach, our CTO of Nexa AI, to introduce you about Nexa SDK.
Sure. Thanks, Alan, for the warm introduction. So before we jump into the technical details, I want to ask a quick question. So how many of you have ever run like image generation or text generation model on your laptop or on your mobile? If so, please. Oh, wow, that's quite amazing. So I have seen more than half of you. So probably you have tried some of the solution here, maybe Ollama, maybe Hugging Face Optimum, or maybe LM Studio. So those toolkits, they all excel in their own domains, but they all have the limitations. That is, in this current industry, we lack a unified and versatile solution that is comprehensive enough to support all we need, including image, including text, and a lot more modalities. And here we come to Nexa SDK. We are the toolkit that can support both GGML and Onyx format, which are two dominating on-device quantized formats. And we support text, image, vision language model, text-to-speech, those all different modalities. We also provide the server, which means that you can open a WebSocket on your local, and then we can expose the service, and you can run the model on your mobile while having the service on your own laptop. We also have the user interface. That means you can open a chatbot locally and run your ChatGPT without your local computational power. And here, so as you can see on the right side, this is a brief intro, a screenshot of our Nexa CLI. So basically, you have all the modalities support, and our design is developer-centric, which means we have also exposed the Python interface for all developers if you want to use our SDK to build your own project. And by just one single line of command line interface command, Nexa run and a model name. So you can download a model on our model hub, and also you can then run our model without any restrictions. So this is our GitHub. So we just open source it today. So feel free to search it, Nexa SDK, and use pip install to enjoy the on-device inference. Thank you.
Oh, and we have also built 3 interesting demos using our Model Hub and SDK, and we're going to show you. First, let's welcome David. Thanks for Alan. Hello, I'm David. I'm David from Nexa AI. Today I'm going to show you our demo project, AI Soulmate, which is built with Nexa SDK. As we all know that character AI is actually such famous app these years. However, I think the biggest problem of this app is that it's used cloud computing resource for inferencing, which will cost a lot of money. The ultimate goal of this demo project is to build on-device character AIs. As we all know that talking to our soulmate, talking to our friend is actually a very private thing. We definitely want to show our chat recording the cloud space. So our demo project can help you achieve these goals. The demo project use Nexa SDK and various kind of LLM on-device LLM models like Whisper, Llama 3 uncensored, Barks, and LCM Dream Shapers. So let's start initialize our program and start the web. Okay, as you can see that it will, during the initializations, it will run generate AI avatars. It will use our Nexa SDK using LCM Dream Shaper image generation models to generate AI avatars. Since the generation may take some time, let's discuss the technical architecture first. As you can see that the whole process is pretty simple. Voice in, voice out. There are simple 3 steps. The first step is voice in and use whisper models to do the speech to text task. And then the step 2 is use Llama 3 uncensored model to generate personalized replies. And the last step is use the Bark models to do the text to speech tasks. Yeah, so the voice out. So the voice in, voice out process is pretty simple. Yeah, as we can see that the image have already generated. We can start chat by just simple say hi, and see what it responds. Yeah, it may take some time because my computer is not bad. It's not good. First, it will generate the text, and then the voice will out. Let's wait some time.
I'm a gentle soul with a heart full of love and compassion. I'm a good listener, and I'm here for you whenever you need someone to talk to. I'm also a romantic at heart, so I love spending quality time with my partner in romantic settings. But above all, I'm here for your happiness and well-being.
Okay, let's start voice chat. Hi, Claudia. I have a tough day at work. Let's see what your response.
Sweetheart, I'm so sorry to hear that. Can you tell me more about what happened? Sometimes talking about it can help ease the pain. I'm all ears, and I'm here for you.
Okay. Because Alan eats all my snacks.
That's so frustrating. It sounds like Alan is really taking advantage of your kind nature. Have you talked to him about it at all?
You see that the response is pretty interesting. I definitely want to let Alan to know the conversation. Yeah, here. Yeah, it's just the first version of this demo project. Yeah, using Next SDK. In the future, we want to add a lot of features to support, especially for the long-time memory, especially with the integration of memory zeros. I hope more developers can come and contribute to our Next SDK. This is all for the demo project. Thank you.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. The whole process is all done on my Mac without internet project. You say Llama 3? Llama 3 on sensor is Q40 quantization. You can find the model on our model hub. Let me check. We can talk. Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, thank you, David, for showing that. So, I'm Alan, so definitely eat David's snacks. So if you do this on-device character AI on cloud, I'll be able to see that and I'll be mad. But if you just do it using on-device models, well, I wouldn't be able to see that, but David still get to lash out at me. Cool, and up next we'll have Brian to show another cool demo we have built for using Nexa SDK.
Hi everyone, this is Brian from Nexa AI. I'm a powerful user of apps like Mint and Copilot Money, and I always worry about if they will sell my data to someone else. So that's why I want to have a personal on-device financial advisor. Okay, for today's demo, let me briefly introduce the technical structure. So first, we use PDF Plumber to read my bank statement. And the second step, we store the data into vector database with LangChain. And the most exciting part is we use Nexa text interface in our Nexa SDK to allow us to chat with our bank statement. So now let me show you the demo. So as you can see, we can adjust the temperature here, and we can also adjust the max new token here. And of course, the other parameters we can also adjust here. So let me ask my first question. Oh, so sorry, I forget. The first step is to upload the PDF. Don't worry, it's the fake data. So first step, it will process the PDF. Now let me ask my first question. So let me check if the answer is correct. It said 999.67. As you can see, this is my bank account I just uploaded March, and the end balance is exactly 99.67. And let me ask the second question. As you can see, it reads data from my bank account, bank statement, and it did some fantastic analysis. Let me ask the third question. Yeah, everything is on this MacBook Pro. It's on device. So our private bank statement won't be uploaded to cloud, and you never know where it goes. So this is just something we built in a very short time, and we could also add Excel file support, and we could also generate graphs for users. And everything here today in this demo is available on our Nexa SDK GitHub repo and docs. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian, for the presentation. As you can see, our Nexa SDK allows you to build these kind of projects to chat with your private documents in a very fast speed. Cool. And next up, we have one more project to show you. Welcome, Paul.
Hello, everyone. I'm Paul. I'm also part of the Nexa AI SDK team. So I'm going to present a few voice tasks you can perform using the Nexa AI SDK. So as a developer, I might want to build a simple meeting minutes on-device app for my application. Then I will need to support a few functionalities. First one would be real-time transcription. Also, I want it to support multilingual input. Also, I want to generate a one-click meeting summary. So with Nexa AI SDK, how you can achieve these functionalities. So with Nexa AI SDK, you can utilize various ASR model or speech recognition model. That's you can basically choose anything from the Nexa model hub, or even choose a local custom model for your real-time transcription task that allows you to capture real-time audio input and do transcription. And most of these ASR model comes with some translation capability, so you can automatically take multilingual inputs. And then you can use the text generation functionality provided by the SDK to use LLM to provide a summary for those transcribed or translated results. So this might be how the architecture look like for my app. So for the models part, it's already supported by the Nexa AI SDK. It provides a very easy to use unified interface for all those model capabilities. Then I can easily plug in my custom or my personal module before or after those models. For example, for my app, I want it to like capture my own personal pace of speaking. So I add a custom segmenter before the voice model. And then the voice model output will be plugged into the LLM. Let me show you how the actual app looks like. Here we build a simple UI here. You can basically configure your model choice using this model path parameter. And then we can just basically start recording and it should transcribe my voice onto the screen. Hey there, I'm doing a live demo, so please work. Yes, as you can see, as I'm speaking, it will basically transcribe my voice into text onto the screen. And not only that, you can basically speak in another language other than English, and it will also transcribe it for you. So, for example, I will speak in Mandarin. 你好，你叫什么名字？ That's the Mandarin output. And I can also do Japanese. Konnichiwa, ima wa nanji desu ka? Yeah, that's for real-time transcription. And here you can also choose the task to be translated. Let me reset the screen. So I'll do that again. 你好，你叫什么名字? Yeah, it basically translate my Mandarin input into English task. And then you can also choose to upload your audio file here. And do transcribe. So this is pre-recorded file that gives a basic introduction of the Nexa AI SDK. Because I'm using Whisper Tiny here, some of the result is not super accurate. For example, it confused Nexa AI with NASA AI, but I guess that's fine. You can always choose to use a larger model if you have better hardware resource. So here's a generated output with a Whisper Small. I generated beforehand because Tiny is already enough torturing for my MacBook Air. So in the interest of time, I have this output already ready here. So with this transcription output, you can do a generate summary button here. Then you call the text generation language model of the SDK and generate a summary for this transcription output. Yeah, and that's that. That's all for this demo. Thanks.
Thank you, Paul, for the presentation. So we'll be open sourcing the source code of these 3 projects very soon, next week. And we're excited to see what developers are building on top of this. And as you can see, our SDK supports you to build these kind of projects and using local models using a very fast inference speed. So yeah, feel free to try it out. Our website is nexaai.com, nexaai.com, 2 A's. Okay, so and lastly, we have already calculated all the scores, and we're ready to announce the hackathon winners. So when you hear your name, please stand up and everybody applaud for them. And cool. And yeah, so award ceremony. Cool. And we can take a picture afterwards. But for now, you can just stand up. Cool. So coming at wait, sir? It is sir, sir. Sir. The first one you say. The first one. Okay. Coming in first place, it's SafeGuardian. Congratulations. Yeah. And second place will be Googler. And third place will be AI Task. Congratulations. And also thank you all the teams for the awesome presentation too. Super excited to see what you are building with AI. And yeah, congratulations everyone. And we also have refreshments and dinner provided outside. And also right now we can begin a networking session. For any questions you were wanted to ask, feel free to ask. Cool. Congratulations everyone. Oh, winners, please come on stage. Let's take a quick photo together. The hackathon winners. Okay. Let's just get it out.
You're not Turkish yourself. There is a use the 911 equivalent center. It's hard for you also have a big function of it, where they have to put the companies together. First thing, and then you have the first one. Sorry to break over. We have to close the picture. Which one is it? Third and second and third. You guys are the winner. You can stand in the middle. Just together. Okay, I look at the camera. Thank you so much.
If you guys want to take a photo of this,
SafeGuardian.
SafeGuardian.
Okay.
Do you guys mind to take
Okay, congratulations.
Congrats.
That's a great project. And hopefully you can use this as SDK. Right? So yeah, we will contact you and we will assign you. Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is good. Okay, good. Yeah, here's come. I thought you did a great job.
接下来就是搜索部分。谢谢你们。
这个 live demo 如果有的话，应该挺酷的。
下次。
live demo。